the UNL. Hello, audience and players. That's where you can say
Hi.
it. I know you're going to. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
You. Fucking say it. I know what you're going to do.
Do what?
Welcome to another episode.
Hi.
There it is.
Ross.
Mhm.
Throw the cheese.
Roll.
I had cheese.
Hello.
It was
Welcome
delicious.
to another episode of The Wandering Party. We are joined again by my wonderful cast.
Why'd you hesitate?
Why did I hesitate? I was trying to find a word that encapsulates all of you that doesn't have entirely painful connotations.
Magnificent. Marvelous.
Beautiful.
Multidextrous. Multifaceted. Moist.
Multifaceted is probably the
What?
well, okay.
You should have expected that one.
I was waiting for it. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for it. He's gonna say it. I was kind of expecting to lean close to the mic and go, mildness. But hey, so to give you a very brief recap of what happened after, they are attempting to fight Zanzyks, two mutated, twisted sisters, and his mother, who is, to be frank, as described by Baron Zanzyk repeatedly, a bit of a bitch. And definitely not on his Mother's Day card list anymore.
Nope.
Not that she ever was. So we joined the party with Alice in a corner, using a pile of mushrooms from an avalanche as cover.
Once again, thank you for that.
You're welcome. You won't be thanking me in a couple of minutes. You see...
The bigger the avalanche gets, the more cover I get.
That was the case. You'd be laughing. Unfortunately, that's not the case in the long one. You have Celeste and Red Sam looking at looking at Zant's two sisters as one is directly in combat with Red Sam and one is just looking at Celeste. And there is their dwarf NPC buddy, who is the other side of one of Zant's sisters from Red Sam, who has just discovered he can actually speak again and was thumbs upping to say he hit, and went, hang on a second, I can fucking talk. Zanzyk is closer to his mother, but is currently in the forced cage of timeout.
I believe her explicit as being saying, like, I'm not a child anymore. You
But
can't put me in time out.
You've been forced caged. You're in a box. Right. We're at the top of the turn order again. Reading how this keeps working out. So it means the first round of this episode is Alice.
Yeah, Alice.
Bearing in mind it's the start of a new episode, can I count it as the start of a new combat?
No.
It's worth asking.
Even if that's the no.
And if it is the case, I could get an extra shot, so it's worth asking.
No.
Either way, I am gonna attempt to hide as a bonus action because I've got nothing else I can do on my bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
For a 31.
You believe you are hidden.
That is good. And then I'm gonna shoot 3 times at the sister that's already being attacked by the other two, by the dwarves. So it doesn't matter if it's successful stuff or not, really.
Mm-hmm.
22, 14, 30.
You get 2 hits.
So that is 42 damage.
You watch as your shots hit in roughly the same area, and you watch as when the second arrow hits, one missed, a chunk of the armor, like of the fungal, like chitin, like sinewy muscle almost, is hit again by the second arrow and just shatters, and it just like part of it just collapses. You see it begin to slowly try and reform, but it's not a quick process.
Okay.
Like that stung a little bit.
Good. And they would have been with my elfin arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Really tell them.
Is that everything from else?
Well, yeah, because hell no am I moving. I've got the only cover in the room right now.
The sister only has one board next to her, looks in your direction, and just points at you.
That's me in a force cage too now.
No.
Oh, God damn it.
The mushrooms you're using as cover. They seem to begin melding together.
Into one big mushroom I can use as
into
cover?
a more fluid state.
Ah.
As you see it begin moulding around one of your shoes and creeping up your shoe.
Oh, please don't. Can you not? I promise I'll stop hitting you.
She's just looking at you.
Like, I'll stop shooting you. It's fine.
Takes us to the bitch mother's turn. She just sits there and watches the proceedings in front of her. Still pin resting on her steepled fingers. Just watching. And darkness. Like Barty's vision from where Zanzyk and the matron are.
Sorry, what?
The darkness that was fucking you guys over earlier reappears and cuts off your guys' view of where Zanzyk and the matron are.
Oh, great.
Nice. Mm-hmm. What the fuck do you respond that?
Oh, there's my plan of what I was gonna do. Okay. Thing that's probably on his last legs. I will use my Echo to Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
Take that.
Hits. She grimaces. There's a noticeable flinch again.
That's not really that great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Xanth is gonna be stuck in that force cage for an hour. How close? Let me say how close. Like how badly damaged is that sister?
It's kind of difficult to tell because with every sort of impact, for the most part, it looks like the fungus just sort of absorbs it. The fire, you can see where bits as the sort of fungus moves, like around as it writhes. I think is the best word. You can see bits that are like charcoaled slightly, that are clearly fire damage where you've been hitting them with fire. So you get that it's moving damaged flesh out of the way, but you're clearly doing damage to it. It's quite difficult to tell, just because you're not. This kind of creature is not easy to tell if it's been injured. It's not like a solid like figure at the level you're hitting it. You get if you hit the ground bit, you might be able to do more aesthetic damage.
Lovely. Okay. Well,
These are not pleasant creatures.
can I try to move closer towards the edge of the darkness in a way, towards where Zanzyk was?
Yeah, you can do that. You can probably also avoid both the sisters by moving in that direction if you want to.
I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you reach the edge of the darkness. It's odd. It's not like darkness you've seen before. As you get closer to it, like it radiates something that just makes you incredibly uncomfortable.
Which movement was that? I can't do anything else, can I? Alright, well. #1 attack per turn. I will go ahead and end turn. Probably trying to squint towards the darkness.
Hashtag wizard problems.
Yeah,
That's
hashtag
human
wizard
problems.
problems. Hashtag human problems too.
Yeah. My vision is the most powerful thing you can have when it gets taken from you.
I mean, I got you know,
You got your funky
goggles.
glasses on. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see in this darkness. You can see like the standard darkness, but this is not standard darkness.
This is
Literally-
fuck you, darkness.
This
fuck-
is
this
screw
fuck you.
everyone over darkness, though, not just screw over humans' darkness.
Yeah, this is fuck people who think they can see in the darkness.
Yeah, fuck you, darkness.
But just by being close to it, it radiates something that makes you feel incredibly uncomfortable. Like it
Okay.
feels malicious, if that makes sense.
If I had any movement left, I would take 5 feet away from the darkness.
That's the end of your turn, then.
Yeah.
The two sisters are going to do something at the end of your turn. I actually spelt this correctly rather than doing the syntax all wrong. The sister that Alice's note that Celestia's green flame blade did you know what I mean, hit with the green flame blade, just leans one of her like claw like spiked appendages up and just drives it down through the ball.
Is that the one with 1 or 2?
That's the one with 1. The one with 2 of it tries to mirror their sister, hits the ball but doesn't kill it. It whines loudly as it's like cut down its flank, but it is not killed. They That's it.
Hello.
Oh,
So my dance partner is still with us.
mm-hmm.
I had a small hoping that she might retire for the night.
You don't know where she's been. This is a bad idea.
Well, you say that, Zanzyk, but
You can't hear him.
True.
okay,
see
you
him
say
either.
that, Claire. But I feel like she's really getting the hang of the rock hall 2-step. So it would be a shame to stop now.
Is she having such a good time?
She's having a ball.
Do I still have Dwarven Buddy on the other side?
You do. He is still flanking because he realised, being the tactical-minded raised soldier that he is, he did a thing.
Well, some of us were raised in the church, so we don't have the military mind of other people.
Some of you were also trained as paladins.
We know.
You can piss off for the start. Right. First strike. I am going to do something that I have only done once before.
You're gonna smite?
I do that every time.
We got you there now because technically,
That's not actively smiting, though.
no, it's still smiting.
It's still a smite.
It's not actively smiting, though.
What
Yes,
you
it
going to do,
is,
son?
because
Okay.
it's an active when I punch someone, they get smote.
Before you guys continue this incessant bickering about smiting, son, what are you going to do?
I am going to smite.
Good. I'm glad you could just like see Beth and she raises you bitching and you just flip at the bird because you could do it anyway. I love it. Nicely
Yeah.
done.
I'm going to take that at 3rd level.
Awesome. One does not tell a paladin how to paladin.
Say.
No, she's just pissy because my Retsam didn't know that something was undead, but she did. And she
Despite the
expects me...
fact we all told you that it was
No,
undead.
you were saying. You were saying.
Okay, guys. If you want to have this argument,
Damage. That is 6 bludgeon,
Mhm.
4 thunder,
Mhm.
and then at 3rd level I get 4d8.
let me just have a quick. You should have. Let me have a quick look, sir. You should have smite logged on your sheet. You can.
I have divine smite,
That's
but I
fine.
don't think I have that as a actual attack.
No,
Oh,
it's a
no,
spell.
I do.
It's a spell. I may have just accidentally rolled it. Whoops. Yeah, I accidentally rolled it. Ignore that. That should be logged as a spell on your spell sheet, which would allow you.
Doesn't allow me to do it at a higher level though.
Hang on, give me 1 second. this is where we go back. We set it up as a spell properly.
Oh, it's just updated.
No, it's not.
I don't think you did it as a spell, just as an attack.
Well, if it's 4d8, just roll that one twice. We'll set it up before next episode.
I think I'd rather take your roll, Ross.
Maybe not. Sorry. Because I was trying to check it to see if it would roll at high level, but it didn't. So. Okay. And then you still get your
Improved.
Yeah. You get up to a certain number of d8 in total. So.
And improved.
It's either 5 or 6, but improved doesn't count towards that.
It's 5, but yeah, improved is separate.
32.
Damn. There's an actual straight up grimace.
Ooh, and then of course I get my second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Almost forgot that one. 17 to hit.
That hits.
For 13 bludgeon, 5 thunder, and 2 radiant. And that's how we do the rock hole 2-step.
Okay. Ow. It's all that the PM has to say about that one. Ow.
And that's why I wanted to invite her to prom.
Thanks for mixing me to have words, I think.
Is that everything from you, Red Sam?
That is going to be everything from Retsam, and he's only asking her to dance to irritate his best friend and occasional nemesis.
The end of your turn. She is going to cast a spell at you. Please roll me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 15.
Okay. Let's put that quickly in the house. I like it when they can actually spell. You take 35 points of necrotic damage.
How many?
35.
Rightio. Oh, no, never mind.
Okay. At the beginning of their turn, they both glance over at the darkness before they will both disengage. And they move backwards into the darkness. You in darkness.
Is the darkness in my box?
No.
Great. This makes it so much easier.
Mhm.
Can I see the top?
But it's difficult because, like, there is a boundary.
Yes.
A solid boundary.
I'm looking at the boundary. It's a solid, so it's a box. It's not a cage.
It's a box.
Okay. So if I reach down and feel the floor,
It's a box.
it's under my feet. It's not. That makes it really harder because I didn't prep the spell for fucking magic.
That's right. That's fine. And for those of you who are aware of the particular caveats of this spell, you don't necessarily know those caveats. So, zip the lip, please. What would you like to do?
I feel like he spends his time checking out the box, looking for cracks.
It's perfect.
No, it's not a cost. It's never perfect.
Anything you would like to achieve there, or attempt?
don't have anything that's going to help me do that. Because I'm pretty sure what you were saying, I can't actually do.
What?
Because I am aware you could try Misty stepping out a bit. But guess what kind of spells Zanzyk doesn't have? I think he'll just push on it.
Close. Pushing him. Doesn't shift. Doesn't even budge.
Pretty sure I don't have anything on the blade that will help. No. Can't absorb it as an element, can I? That's gonna work, that's gonna work. That won't work. That would amuse him. That would amuse him. I'm so very tempted to cast daylight in the box.
No comment, Your Honor.
I mean, it would do nothing, and I know this, but it would amuse him.
Is there anything you'd like to do, Claire?
That won't work. That won't work. There's nothing he can do.
You're sure?
I mean, he could blind himself. He's gonna hold his turn and wait for an opportunity to escape the box.
Okay, Sans leaves the just. I'm not that mean.
Or would he just amuse himself? Okay. I will daylight the box.
Okay. You daylight in the box. You can roll me a constitution. Because you're not wearing your goggles.
I am.
What?
He's got them on. He would put them on.
Okay, so you. Okay.
In
future, if you don't say I put the goggles on and then I cast daylight.
I usually just constantly has them on. I forget.
Yeah, but he's in the Underdark. He doesn't need them on. It's a very habitual mistake to make when you're so used to wearing them. That'll be an interesting cock up. You cast daylight
in my box.
Yeah. No one else has any idea that Zanzyks cast daylight.
He's
the
giggling.
box glows purple, and that's basically in its own homemade UV bed.
He's giggling.
Arguably, wouldn't it only be the source of the light that's magic? So the light would still, in theory, pass through, wouldn't it? Because the light itself isn't magic; it's the source of the light that's magic.
It blocks any spells.
Yes, but the spell itself is cast in the box,
but it's magical light. So technically, it has the same properties as daylight, but it is still a spell.
Or is the orb replicating daylight, which would then make the light natural?
It also says it's a solid barrier.
Doesn't mean it's not transparent.
No, I know, but it's like it doesn't allow a spell to pass into or out of.
He couldn't see the actual cage, so it would indicate that it was transparent.
Mm-hmm. He's also surrounded by darkness that's been proven to not be affected by the daylight spell. So
this is true. I had forgot that bit. I tried, Claire.
I know. To be honest, I got nothing. I've got no way out.
Joys of Force Cage. I did try though.
Because the only spell that would actually be useful, I don't have prep.
Oops. So, is that the end of your turn?
I mean, he's still checking out the cage, looking for cracks.
There was no cracks. Sorry, I'm having a quick read. I'm trying to get. The dwarf.
What would happen if he? How big was his cage?
Only once I think please.
Because he said it was 5 foot by 5 foot.
Yeah.
So is it 5 foot by 5 foot, like square? It is his square, basically.
Yeah. It's tall enough to keep you in.
Bigger.
The background.
Sorry, just 1 second. Right, hello. Sorry, I was just double checking something. The Prince Fart has looks very perturbed as the big fungal drow monster has slithered away from him, and he's looking at the ground. He's like, "The ground's damp. Can't tell if it's blood or they're really part slug."
They're just
nudges it.
moist.
He nudges it with his foot, and he's like, it sticks to his shoe as he pulls it off, like gum stretching off the floor. He's like, oh god, it's sticky.
That's so not nice when you say that, Alice.
Moist.
Like, he looks at it, he rubs his shoe. He's like, oh my god, it's sticky. Oh god. He looks down at it, and does a little. He takes a step back and jumps over the patch of goo that's on the floor. Lands next to Red Sam. And he's like, well, that's unpleasant. He currently has no targets. So he's like, well, what if I just take the axe and just points, and another one golden beam shoots out, and you see Zanzyk's purple box for just a fraction of a second.
Full of daylight.
Yeah, it's glowing like vibrantly purple. Zanzyk's in the perfect sealed room, and somehow he's hotboxing himself.
Sounds like so much fun.
It's just Zanzyk making use of the shrooms.
Got some
I've
leaves out,
seen-
it's rolling.
Seen worse uses for the
Cage.
of
Just like
worse-
Ford's like, I've got an hour. Force cage. Yeah, let's go. The druid, the cleric, when they hang out. Ah, yes.
Life goals. Hotbox force cage.
solid wall force cage. No regrets. After an hour, there is no good oxygen left. It's just. Can you imagine the hit of oxygen?
That's a good question, actually. How much air does a 5x5 square cube force cage hold, Ross? And will it last as long as the force cage?
I'd imagine it would because air is not magical, so it could pass through it.
Let's not actively try and kill Zanzyk, okay? He's doing a good enough job on his own.
Ah, yes.
Prevents any matter. Technically, oxygen is matter, I suppose. Down to the atomic level. Alice, it's your turn.
Ross?
Sorry, Claire. I can't see anything. How, other than it probably not having been recently swept, what kind of state's the floor in? Is there glass all over it and stuff? Or if I took my shoes off, because my shoes are currently stuck in mushroom gunk.
They look like they're becoming stuck in mushroom gunk.
Yes, so I would like to take my shoes off and hopefully not cut my feet to high hell again.
So this thing is, the ground is like it's spongy, right? It's like stone that's been warped to be slightly fungal. The problem with this, you realise, is when people have been hit by mushrooms previously, it's made their skin sizzle. You're like, do I risk taking my shoes off, or do I just try and pull my feet out and move?
I will attempt to pull my feet out and move.
Okay. I will let you have a strength check.
Can I do an athletics instead? Or acrobatics and
It
basically
would be
try and
strength oriented. It would be strength orientated.
I can't try and gymnastics my way out of this.
Your feet are nearly rooted to the ground, Beth.
Athletics it is then. 24.
There is a wet pop like you've been stuck in the mud. Your feet come free and you move. You do look at the side of your boots. They are not as sturdy as they were before.
Zanzyk!
You hear no response.
God damn it! I need more shoes!
The mushroom.
It doesn't have the shoes.
He doesn't have his
Oh.
Boot!
the mushrooms also you see it as you step away. It tries to chase it. It reaches tendrils come out as if reaching.
Who's got the bag?
Zanzyk's been force caged.
So let's put Zanzyk's bag.
Oh, Celeste,
Last session.
I need to get 2 boots out the bag, and then I will run over to Celeste and grab 2 boots out of Zanzyk's bag and change my shoes. And that is my turn.
Midterm costume
You're
change for
hasted.
Alice.
Yeah, mid episode costume change. Change shoes. Still 2 left shoes.
This is pair of shoes number 3, people.
One of them is slightly chewed.
Yeah, one of the boots is
As long as it's not being
puncture marks in
devoured
it.
by mushroom, it's fine.
No, you're pretty sure
Yes.
it was Flicker.
Hey, that one has a bow on it.
And yeah, I will quick change as my turn.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what sounds like knuckles rapping on the edge on the outside of the box.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You hear very quietly. Turn off the day lights and we'll talk.
I like daylight.
Up
on the surface.
ever.
I knew you liked punishing yourself, but this is actually surprisingly unnecessary. Besides, you wear those stupid.
I'm not a child. You can't put me in timeout anymore.
I have literally proven otherwise.
Still not a child.
Then stop acting like one. We know that you're having a teenage rebellion.
Is that what you call this?
Yes. You killed one older sibling. Good job.
Oh, you had an accident.
That's
I can't help it if it was clumsy.
not help it if you actually did what you should have done as a drow male in that situation. So far, you're not doing too badly as an agent on the surface. You cultivated some sacrifices and brought them down here and offered them up to your matron.
He doesn't respond.
You're doing wonderfully. You did have to bring up my timetable ever so slightly. And one patron deity against us. That's
I knew you'd recover.
well, power is power.
Where's you from now?
We've always drawn power from the lower planes, Zanzyk. You know this. I just changed where it was in.
Zanzyk is thinking, would he have ever come across any of these? Fair. No,
This is not
necessarily
your
allowed.
exactly. This is not your realm of expertise at all.
I only have one question.
Mm.
My spore form.
What? This one? You can make Christmas saving throw.
Come on, Zanzyk.
You are forced into your spore form.
Fair. Might just drop it.
Yes, you're surprisingly.
Enjoying my hit points at least.
You are surprisingly like me. you hear through your daylight and box.
I'm not dropping daylight.
She knows.
This is the only thing keeping me in the box right now, which is where I want to be.
Zanzyk, you feel your body moving, and you tap the side of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You are not doing this willingly.
Think so a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that is her turn. The layout in the darkness remains in place. Celeste, you are stood by the darkness, and it genuinely, like, the longer you stay stood here, like, you watch the two sisters like disappear into it. You're like, yeah, okay, this feels weird. It just feels like malevolent is the best way I can think of to describe it.
Can't perceive anything.
Would you
Can't
like to
see
roll me an
nobody.
intelligence check?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Oh, come on. Can I use my inspiration for a reroll? Maybe?
You technically you
Or-
rolled 2 sevens. You are meant to declare it before you do it.
Okay.
You're like, this feels really bad. It just feels nasty with a capital nast. It's unpleasant. Like,
I might. Can I spend my action to try and think
you can.
of a good solution?
You can spend your action to consider.
Okay.
Would you
Another
like to roll
intelligence.
another intelligence check?
Or
Before you
would
roll
it be
it,
Arcana?
I'll give you Arcana. Are you going to roll it with your inspiration before I
Yes.
screen, just in case you've rolled
Yes.
already?
Yes.
What do you think? This feeling of like just outright evil that's coming off this reminds you distinctly of the fact that a particular individual was writing a book on the other planes.
I'm sorry,
that you
what?
have in your possession a book about other planes and portals.
Demonic.
Fortunately for you, is in your bag that you are holding.
But she
Which is
doesn't
bad.
necessarily know that.
And she would, because she was literally there watching
She
Zanzyk
does
read the
know
book.
it's in there.
She literally sat and watched him read the book all the way in the But the player wouldn't know that because she wasn't here.
I'll be grabbing the book to start try and scan through.
Unfortunately, you use your action to think.
Yeah. Action search.
Action search pulls the book out. Ha!
I do have a question though, because Zanzyk did actually study that book.
Mhm.
Would he not?
You can't feel that inside the cage.
No, I was asking whether he would have remembered
What about the
anything
book?
from it.
I'm not
Anything
gonna
from the
waste
book.
Whatever. I will get that. You asked me the question on your
Okay.
turn. Celeste.
What?
What would you like to do? Sorry. Claire asked me a question while you were talking. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm not gonna waste my action search on that.
That's fair. As a wizard, is gaining information, which is potentially useful ammunition against your enemies, ever a
Yeah,
waste?
I guess you could. What?
I could think that at the moment.
Well, you see her start to go through the bag of holding.
Mhm.
I guess.
Do you move away from the darkness that you've just seen two very angry female drow go into?
Yeah, I'm kind of gonna, take another 5-foot step back.
Mhm.
Gonna see if I can have my echo come towards me.
It does.
Okay. Probably turn.
Right. You no longer have a dance partner.
I mean, it was awfully rude of her to rush off. Did she happen to leave like a glass slipper or anything?
Just a puddle of goop.
So there's just no shoes lying around that I can chase after her with Crap.
No, there's just a goop trail that leads up to some darkness.
I mean, do I try something dumb or do I try something dumber? That is the question.
I mean, I can answer that question. I'm the DM.
I think Zanzyks got plenty of gum planned. Though plenty of dumber.
I just see what you do, and I pick up the pieces that are left and try and string it into something that might resemble a narrative.
Well, I guess what I'm going to try and do is light a torch and go into the darkness to where I saw Zanzyk last.
Okay, you light the torch.
And I run into the darkness to where I saw Zanzyk last.
You run into the darkness. The torch, you can feel the heat coming off the torch, but you're now in the pitch black.
I'm going to hold it in front of me. And I'm going to go to where I saw Zanzyk last.
Are you running or are you walking?
I think I would do it with a bit more speed than just a stroll.
Okay. You walk forward and suddenly the torch impacts the solid surface that glows faintly purple. You have only a moment before that you realise the torch is no longer moving and you're moving towards the torch. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that I can do.
Don't burn his beard. Don't do it, Ross.
Oh dear, I've been called out.
That's a 6.
No.
You collide with your torch, your forehead smacking against the part that is aflame.
It's fine.
You know it's on fire, and you're like, you look up. Your head is quite warm as you drop the torch.
It's okay, I am the flaming hammer of Gond.
Would you like to pack out your hair as it's now combusting?
Sure, I will slap my hair aflame till it is no more.
Okay. You are now stuck in the dark. The torch is on the floor. You can feel the heat, but you can't see anywhere. It's just you have like a faintly glowing purple wall that's just in your vision, and it's like almost at your nose. You can see the torch on the floor. Like you can't. The flame isn't going anywhere. Like it's illuminating darkness and just around it. And like that's really weird.
Did I see the purple shimmer?
No, because unfortunately your head is locked, looking in one direction. You're tapping, or you were tapping on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it.
Well, I guess that will be everything for now.
Retan, you hear some wet, squelchy noises.
As long as they're wet and not moist, I'm fine.
I said wet. I mean, might have been moist. That's. You're currently in your fungal form.
Yep.
You're maintaining daylight, but you become to the distinct realization you're having a semi-out-of-body experience. You're locked into your own vision, but you don't currently have control of your body.
Fair.
It's a bit weird as your head turns at somebody else's request, as if someone else is looking through your eyes, your vision tinted slightly the colours of decay, so that bruise-like yellow and green.
Mm-hmm.
Your mouth opens up. It's mildly peculiar, isn't it?
Shall we get to business then?
No.
No. It's weird. I heard you were looking for something.
Perhaps.
I'm in a position to offer it to you.
I don't think you are.
Yeah.
Already.
Not really.
Not really. The coloration recedes, and your fungal form dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
and you can smell the smell of burning hair.
Gotta be one of the dwarves.
What would those do, Zanzyk?
I will turn back to the tapping,
There's no tapping. There was a thud.
but there was tapping.
There isn't anymore.
Yeah. Who hears this?
But the choice is clear.
The only way you would win is if I were to return here willingly.
Oh, what is that? You can bring down the caverns that lead to the surface. And you'll find a way. We have already.
You believe. But the only way you win is if I stay willingly.
No, it isn't.
Otherwise, I win.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
Run. Leave this place. Do not run. Maybe your brother will survive. If not run. Revenge, Sam.
Revenge was never my plan. I was serious when I said I forgive you.
It's a shame. But as in all things, regardless of what you choose, what you do, what you believe, you are my son. You are a boy. You are naught but my tool. Now run. Like you always have. The wolf cage drops. And you can smell burning red Sam. As his hair is very much on fire.
I feel like Sans could be familiar with the smell of burning rat sand by now.
Yeah.
Just in general.
And suddenly, daylight.
Yeah, and suddenly daylight. Red Sam, you are immediately blinded by the sudden burst of daylight that pops out in front of you. Everyone on the other side of the darkness, there's an immediate flash of brilliant light inside the darkness, obscured as if by like a heavy dark mist before it rescinds completely.
Ah, crap.
I pick up the dwarf.
You can't see him anymore.
But I saw, like, for a moment I would have been like, yeah, it's right.
In the extreme flash of light. Yeah. You're all in the Underdark. That light, that daylight, that was full colour.
It
That's
wasn't a flash of daylight for Zanzyk, though, because he was already in it.
Yeah, then he's wearing his goggles that allow him to see in the daylight. And then he's plunged into extreme darkness. His goggles tint it. He's got something that allows him to see in daylight, but then he can't see in the dark properly.
Okay.
It's like...
I can smell burning.
You can smell burning dwarf.
Where is it?
Like, it's within 5 feet of you. Like, you just have to reach out and you can pat him on the head.
I pat him on the head. I then
In the immediate darkness, Red Saber, you're patting at your hair. There's an additional hand that starts patting your hair. Like, you can't see where it's coming from, but it just looms over your head.
I take the dwarf, Red Sam, and I'll grab his shoulder.
That's my name. Satan.
Gives Horse mouth, let's move back.
I'm
start dragging the dwarf back.
You go half distance because you're dragging the dwarf.
We go that far.
Can we get wheels put into my butt so next time I'm dragged I can just like lay back?
Your butt? I mean, no.
Well, okay, so the armor piece covering my butt.
Have you considered, like, investing in Heelys?
Yeah, that's what I'm
For
talking
your
about. Heelys
butt.
for my butt.
Would it be called Buttleys?
No,
And I can... Ooh, get regular Heelys and Heelys in my butt, so when I go downhill, I can just like sit and just go. Wee.
Think you like a magic expanding sled that has wheels on it or something.
I mean, we could probably afford one.
I know, probably. So Zanzyk, you don't quite get to the edge of the darkness with that movement.
That's fair.
But you're pretty sure you're getting there. As you're dragging the dwarf, who doesn't move very easy. He doesn't move very far either.
Also, you've seen Zan's strength.
Yeah,
He
but
doesn't drag him. Without
he
willingly.
attempts to. Is that a raised arm or is that just a stretch? Okay, cool.
Ooh, are we allowed to tease? Big stretch. You better be doing one too, Azuri.
I've been painting all day and my shoulders are stiff as hell.
Mm-hmm. Moving swiftly on. The other dwarf, Sir Flatulence, is just looking around and going, shoots out of a bag in the middle of a fight. He fucks off into the darkness. She's reaching for a book. What is going on? Look, we've got the axe. I think we've done a distraction. What was going on?
I want to leave.
I like what that
Celeste
human's
says-
just said.
Celeste says, scrounging around in the back.
The other dwarf will just hold his action, ready to attack anything that comes out of the darkness.
I like
that
to
sees our
imagine.
staff.
I like to imagine the echo is nodding like real quickly too.
The echo is just sort of looking around. It doesn't know it exists anymore. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Figures succinctly to Alice.
In said flash of light, I know I wouldn't have been able to pinpoint anything specific because extreme flash of light in darkness, but was there any kind of vague indication of where the sisters might be in said sphere of darkness?
For the sisters, no. You do see two figures, one short and rotund, superimposed against the darkness, and the other was a slightly lankier figure, though still short, but skinny.
So Zanzyk and Ratsam don't want to be
Yes.
shooting them, but there was
No.
no indication of any other creatures or figures of
No.
any description in that location.
Not within the reach that the daylight spell could inside that darkness. I did count
Okay.
for that. It doesn't quite do anything.
Okay. In that case, I would like to aim an arrow following the direction that the sister's slime took, assuming she's moved in a fairly straight line.
Okay. Are you going to fire?
Yes. I didn't
Wrong.
think I needed to specify that
You
bit.
said aim.
And then I was going to click the button.
Okay, fair enough.
Doesn't that 20 hit?
Well,
No.
given you're firing blind, you're firing into darkness that you can't see through. So technically, you're not firing anything. The arrow sails into the darkness.
Does it indicate... Is there a ink of pain sound at all?
You don't hear anything.
Is
You
there
don't
a
even
wet?
hear the arrow land.
Is there a moist thunk?
There is not a moist whapping noise, no.
Oh.
Okay. You fire 3 shots into the darkness. You hear nothing.
And I'm assuming the lack of asking me to roll for damage means I still don't actually hit anything.
Well, I mean, even if it hits, you wouldn't know what damage it dealt.
I wouldn't know, but you don't know what damage I roll either unless I click the button.
But equally, I know what damage I don't know what the damage dice rolls are because I can see that previously, so I could GM roll. But you don't know if you hit anything, so.
Turn.
So nice.
Hi. I get the book out.
Okay.
Can I move further away from the darkness?
Mhm.
Closer towards people. Start trying to scan through the book.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check. That's a natural 20. But damn.
Wow.
Let me just double check what the title of the book was.
Demons and Where to Find and How to Kill Them.
That's
Just
probably
kidding.
not what it was called.
That's what we're going to rename it.
A treatise on demons, how to find them, where to kill them.
You had the book in your inventory.
Where to
didn't you?
find them, how to kill them, surely.
How
That
to
wouldn't make
train
sense.
How to Train Your Demon. Looks to Zan.
Demons for
Great
dummies.
Zanzyks.
How to train your demon, become a warlock.
Well, that's to be trained.
Wouldn't
by
that be your
demons.
demon training you?
Yeah, basically.
Semantics. Semantics.
Maybe that's Zanzyk's
Is-
next plan.
Is that the author's name? Sam Antics.
Be Sem antics.
Celeste, the book essentially it outlines how, while there are portals to the hells, there is a theory that that the reason that the hells are so organized and militaristic is entirely orientated around combating a different foe. And it stipulates that it believes there's another realm that is chaotically evil, that they're simply referred to as the Abyss. And then it stipulates that in theory, if you can target the hells specifically with portals, then why can't you target the Abyss? It doesn't go any further. It's very clear the author sort of has written this and then gone, actually, let's not think about that too hard.
Did Westminster write this book?
Yeah. You because you have more experience with Westminster, you very much understand that this is a point where he's gone, this is possible, but we're not going to talk about it anymore because no.
Ah, yes.
There's very few things Westminster goes, how about no to.
That's actually kind of concerning.
Hmm.
Great. So I can assume that this is kind of might be more on the abyssal side, maybe, or
So it does go into a little bit of detail about miasma, which is sort of like heat. You get it in certain places in the hells. It's like heat haze. Other places it's like a choking fog. Other places it's like having airborne like diseases that mutate you and shift your alter your
this-
flesh. In some places it could be like it takes on different forms in different places.
in this case, it's fungal spores
Well,
and stuff, and the darkness.
Kind of. In this case, it looks like you have, in the rest of the Underdark, you have that fungal miasma. In this instance, you have pure dark miasma.
It doesn't say how to combat it, does it?
In certain elements, it talks about how you can mitigate its effects or cope with them. It never talks about combating them, like stopping them.
Okay, so seemed like something that could have been prepared beforehand instead, or at least try to be prepared for beforehand.
But it's like reading between the lines. This shit sucks.
Yeah, she'll say, "Let's get out of here." Let's just get out of here. We are definitely not prepared.
And you hear Celeste in your head, oh, you're definitely not prepared, little human.
That sends shivers up her spine.
Little wizard with your little book. Run along now. But no, we are inevitable. All the things your pathetically short-lived brethren create will decay, rot inside out. In the end, you will belong to us. Run.
There's a frown from Celeste when she hears that. and still have. I use my action, so I can't do that.
Mhm.
I guess she'll shove the book into the bag again if she can, and then she'll start edging closer towards the entrance.
Okay. I'm assuming that's the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Alright, Sam, you're being dragged towards the edge of the darkness by Zanzyk, who you can hear him wheezing as he can't
We're
actually
leaving.
drag you much further.
I mean, on that instruction, I would attempt to roll to my feet and then drag the drow with me out of the darkness.
Do you resist?
No.
You can turn him into a sack of potatoes and just pull him over your shoulder and just like plob it out. Yeah.
This is undignified.
You guys, the first thing you see you see Red Sam's face, but you see he's basically throwing Zanzyk over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, in like holding his legs, like got him.
I'm in carry for Zanzyk.
I would like to argue one point, though.
Mhm.
Technically, I was in daylight, so I should get at least a single point of healing for that.
You can have as if you had one round of healing, yes, because of your.
Right, if you're giving me one round, then I get to roll a d3.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I can help.
Thank you very much.
How many hit points to get back? This is the question.
2! I mean, I'll take it.
Red Sam walks out of the darkness carrying Zanzyk.
Leaving.
Make haste. Get out. Door.
You are fleeing, yes?
We are
Collectively,
fleeing.
you're departing.
Yeah, I'm running.
Yes, I'm going to bring this out, finish the order. And you run out of the main hall. Once you exit the hall, you note in the foyer you walk through, there are a number of different creatures. Some of the little hunters that you've dealt with previously who were stalking you as you ventured through the upper parts of the Underdark. That feels like a really weird thing to say out loud. The upper parts of the Underdark. You see different forms of these hunter creatures, more larger, more heavily armored. They just sort of watch you as you run,
Mm-hmm.
almost like well-trained pets. You see out of the building into this sort of grand garden area in front of that property, of the house, and then you are drawn immediately towards this sort of center point in the garden that's raised above. Is this thick, large mushroom tree, as if you're taken from the forest. Above. You're drawn to that for some reason, but your mother's words do echo in your head about your brother.
I can't remember what her words were. Thanks for that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she said that your brother is in danger or hinted at it. But hey, equally they are trying to escape through Underdark that is out to get them, so, you know, neither here nor there, I suppose.
Well, there's not a lot I can do.
No.
Zanzyk has done his job. He was supposed to go there, distract, and then leave.
You're drawn to this large mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Size of a large tree.
I'd like to bless myself.
Bless yourself.
Very quickly, yes.
Bless yourself. You've got to check yourself.
I will guidance myself, sorry.
Oh, guidance. That makes more sense. There you go.
Can I bless myself?
I mean, I don't know. Hit points.
I don't want the hit points.
You guys become distinctly aware as you're moving through this this garden up towards this large mushroom. Very much, there's a lot of creatures floating around here now. Some you recognise as various forms of that small hunter that, you know, from heavily armoured to ones that somewhere between, to ones that are They loom ominously, almost as large as some of the dragons you've encountered.
Mm-hmm.
You reach the top of this garden, this central focal point that's raised above, up some steps, and you're just looking at this view at this large mushroom. Do I need to keep emphasizing it's as large as a tree?
I know where you're going. I'm just wondering whether I bless myself as well. I would like to cast transport via plants as we get to the tree.
Okay.
On the tree.
Where do you want to target it to?
Northdale.
Okay.
Our brewery. There's a big tree in the gardens out there.
Actually, there's lots of big, reasonable sized trees along the path,
But
the main road.
there was a big one in our fields.
Yes. Big old, I think it's an apple tree, actually.
I thought you said it was a big tree, but
Big tree, it's something like that.
it might have been over a year since we've been there. So.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I mean, we had like downtime of 3 months at least.
So you target Northdale.
Yes.
You're going to see the bark, like I don't want to bark, but like the outer layers of this mushroom sort of open, and this is like bubbling green energy replaces like the inside of this large mushroom stalk. I won't call it a trunk, but you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zanzyk points at it, I'm assuming.
Run.
Alice runs through.
Sweetie, I'm getting out of here.
I have to hold it open so I wait for the doors to go through.
The Flatchmans runs through. I hate magical transportation.
I mean, I will run through once I give a final fuck you. Sleeves up. Thunderclap. And then I run in.
Do you actually cast Thunderclap?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the spell card?
And the tree's ruined.
That thought hadn't actually crossed my mind. But my thought is whether or not you can choose the targets.
You create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away. Each creature within range other than you must succeed on a con save 5 feet.
Roll me a con save.
Is Brittam still next to me?
He has to be next to you to go through the portal.
+4 plus. I won't cost me. So it still takes 5 damage. I'm presuming. I'm in the middle of casting.
No, it doesn't cause damage.
No
take
damage.
saving throw or take 1d6 damage. No,
If you pass, it doesn't hurt you.
no
Okay.
damage at
There
all.
you go.
So
You got very lucky there.
I mean, I wasn't planning to stand right next to Zanzyk as I do it, but I figured I trust him to be more constitutional than me. And then I jump through.
Okay.
Question.
Just wanted to hear it, guys. Sorry.
You know, they just do this so we have to listen to the recording to see what they're talking about.
Why don't we just try to say what they're trying to speak?
It records what Ross's mic picks up from their end, and he's muted the actual mic rather than...
I was being facetious.
Which is why they actually mute the mic rather than just muting Zoom.
But it also means that we can say anything we want.
It does, and Claire won't edit it out because it'll just be taking the piss out of us.
And this is where we all level up. Twice.
This is where,
Thank you, Ross!
where Doom hits you in the face like a hammer. Play, you need to take your dog in because he's asking to go out.
Zanzyk does go through the portal.
And now I have to wait for Claire to come back. Hi, guys.
It's okay, mute yourself. We'll just keep talking behind your back.
Rude dude.
Yeah, somebody's got to be rude.
want to go out?
Told everyone about.
Oh, I'm cold.
Yes, Claire, because it's like 10 o'clock.
Wonder if we have actually leveled up because we've been in a heck of a lot of fights the last few years.
Right.
I mean, we leveled up just literally before we came to the Underdark, so I don't think
Yes.
we'll level up again just yet.
So, Zan, as you head through the portal, your hand snags.
No?
So you step out into Northdale. I'll describe the scene in just a moment for everybody else. Watch the portal begin to close. Your arm is stuck. At the last second, you pull it free. You're holding an odd-looking staff. As while you're in the Underdark, I couldn't exactly be giving out presents because of people's birthdays now, could I?
Sure, you could. It'd just be mushroom based.
Yeah, it still is.
That's just a little bit off mushrooms at the moment.
That's right, because you now have a staff of the woodlands that is oriented towards mushrooms. So when you use it, you won't make a tree, make a fuck off big mushroom.
Oh.
Topical.
You make it staff with the shroomlands.
Okay. If those mushrooms aren't moist, we're going to have to get it retuned.
They're going to be
Can we
mildly
stop
moist.
saying moist, please?
No.
No.
If Vance keeps the staff well, like, liqueured and polished, I think they might have been moist mushrooms.
Moist.
I think we're going to need to. We're going to need to name this episode "Marvelous Moist Mushrooms."
Remind me of that in like a month.
Marvelous, moist, malevolent mushrooms.
Multitudes of malevolent mushrooms.
Nah,
Of
you forgot
moist
the
malevolent mushrooms.
Ah, there you go.
You knew he was going to do that.
We will see
So-
how many M words we can get in. Don't worry, I've practiced at this.
So all of you are now stood in the middle of what is essentially a field of well, it's just a muddy field at the moment, but it's set up into 4 segments, 2 of which have been used very recently.
I recognise this.
You do. It's a very muddy field. It looks like it's rained very recently.
I recognise this because there is a mark of ground buried like every couple of meters right round the perimeter of this property.
Where the hell are we?
She hugs the ground.
Home from
Oh.
home.
Northdale?
Oh,
This is our brewery. Oh, remember when we
I
said we
guess
had a
we
brewery?
should I guess we should go close the portal then, since we're here.
I've got other things to do, but
Celeste is like hugging the ground, hugging the tree. If she could hug the daylight, she would.
It's actually really quite overcast here. You can't see the sun.
Still
It's still daylight.
brighter than Underdark.
But you have full color HD vision returned to you.
Exactly. She is hugging everything. He's like, this world is so beautiful.
Everything's so pretty when it's not in grayscale.
And as you have now made it to the surface, you're stood in a field, bright as flare. We're going to end this episode.